Hello friends, how are you doing? And I hope you really are having a great and fun time. And so today we are going to discuss the CBSE questions on the plant kingdom, right? We will see the CBSE pattern questions, and now let us go to the first question of this CBSE pattern exercise we will try to discuss. Okay, so we'll see the first question, which is a 1 mark, that what are rhizoids, and let us talk what are these rhizoids, right? Rhizoids are root like structures, right? Rhizoids are root like structures the rhizoids are root like structures which may be unicellular, right, which may be unicellular or may be multicellular, right. So where are these found, the rhizoids? We know that there are 5 when we divide the plant kingdom according to the evolution, or according to the evolutionary lineage. Okay, there we have the thalophyta, right, the thalophytes, the bryophyta, then we have the pteridophyta, the gymnosperms, and the angiosperms, right. The thalophyta, the bryophyta, the bryophyta, the pteridophyta, the gymnosperm, as well as the angiosperm. Now when we talk about the thalophyta, what we will see that these thalophytes, okay, they do not have a differentiated body into root, stem and leaves. The bryophyta, they have these root like structures which are called as the rhizoids, okay, which are called as the rhizoids, and hence these rhizoids which are found in the bryophytes, right friends. So this was a 1 mark question, and hence we have, now we will be moving on to the next question, okay. That will be also 1 mark. So the next question, what do you mean by the thalophyta? Name the 2 subdivisions, right. Thalophyta. Now the thalophyta, what do you mean by thalophyta? These plants are present with a thallus, okay, are present with a thallus, that is their body is not differentiated, that is their body is not differentiated, into root, stem and leaves, right. Their body is not differentiated into the root, stem and leaves, and that is what we mean by the term thalophyta. These plants are present with the thallus, that is the body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves, and this is what the thalophyta are. Name the 2 subdivisions. The thalophytes include the algae and the fungi. Okay. The thalophytes will include the algae as well as the fungi. Okay. So, after this, we will be moving on to the next question, which will be again of 1 mark, right, and then to which group does the volvox belong, right. Volvox belongs, okay, volvox belongs to the group Algae. Okay, we will see that these are colonial. Okay, these form colonies. These are colonial organisms. These are colonial organisms. These are colonial organisms and will form the colonies and will form the colonies. Okay. So, these are colonial organisms and will form the colonies, and this is what the volvox belongs to, right. So, now we will be moving on to the next question, that is the 4th question, and again these are of 2 marks. To write the important characters of the Gymnosperms. Right. Important characters of Gymnosperms. So, when we are talking about the Gymnosperms are the word gymnos, right, Gymnosperms. The word gymnos means naked, and the word sperms means seeds. This means that the seeds are not enclosed within the fruit, the seeds are naked, hence the seeds are naked, that is not enclosed within the fruit. Okay, not enclosed within the fruit. That is not enclosed within the fruit, right. The seeds are naked, that is not enclosed within the fruit. Also what we will see that these are vascular plants, right. These are the vascular plants, that is the xylem, well developed xylem and phloem will be present in the Gymnosperms. These are vascular plants, that is well developed xylem, and phloem well developed xylem and phloem will be present for the conduction of water and mineral salts and food respectively. Okay. So, these are vascular plants, that is well developed xylem and phloem. Well developed xylem and phloem will be present for the conduction of water and mineral salts and food respectively. Right? What else? The gymnosperms, we said, these are, yes, here the dominant plant phase, here the dominant plant phase is the sporophyte. Okay, here the dominant plant phase is the sporophyte, and definitely these are well differentiated, since these are on an evolutionary scale on a higher on the higher side, right. They have well developed roots, stem and leaves, well developed root, stem and leaves, and and the leaves are modified, and many times the leaves are modified into spines, conical structures, or called the foliage, in the pinus like trees, and many a times the leaves, right, the leaves are modified into conical structures, right, like as in pinus trees, like as in the pinus trees. Here the dominant plant phase is a sporophyte. They have well developed root, stem and leaves, and many a time the leaves are modified into conical structures like as in the pinus trees. Okay. So, these were the important characters of the gymnosperms, and now we will be moving on to the next question, right. So, write in brief the structure of the Spirogira. Okay. Spirogira. Now, the Spirogira is filamentous, right. This is filamentous, right, which and consisting of mainly the cylindrical cells, and consisting of mainly the cylindrical cells, okay, may be branched or unbranched both, and these Spirogira, they have a very high power of regeneration, right. They have a very high power, they have a very high power of regeneration. They have a very high power of regeneration. right. So, this is filamentous and consisting of mainly the cylindrical cells, and they have a very high power of regeneration, that is the Spirogira. Okay. Now, we will move on to the next question, and yes. So, what is thallus? What is a thallus? The thallus is a body, okay, which the thalophytes have, where the body is not differentiated into structures like the root, the stem and the leaves. Okay. The thallus is the body of the thalophyta. The thallus is the body of the thalophyta which is not differentiated into structures like the root, the stem and the leaves. Right. The thallus is the body of the thalophyta which is not differentiated into structures like the root, the stem and the leaves, and that is what is a thallus, right. So, we are done this with this question again, and now we will be moving on to the next question, that is of 3 marks. Distinguish between a zygospore and a zoospore. Okay. So, distinguish between a zygospore and a zoospore. See, a zygospore, right, the zygospore is a thick walled spore. This is a thick walled spore which is formed sexually, okay, which is formed by the sexual reproduction, which is formed by the gametangia, which is formed by the gametangia. However, we will see that when we are talking about the zoospore, right, these are naked spores, there is no thick wall in them. These are naked spores, with the absence of thick walls, with the absence, okay. So, these are naked spores with the absence of thick walls, and also with the absence of thick walls, and also these are motile, as due to presence okay, of 1, 2 or 3 flagella. So, these are naked spores with the absence of thick walls, and also these are motile as due to the presence of 1, 2 or the 3 flagella, right. We move on to the next question. Okay. So, now we will talk about the next question, that how do red algae prepare their food. How do red algae? Now, the red algae, we have already talked about why, where are the red algae present. The red algae are present mostly in the oceans. The red algae are present, okay, where? The red algae are present mostly in the oceans. Mostly in the oceans. They have the pigment, right, phycoerythrin, they have the pigment phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, and even chloroplast, and even the chloroplast, okay, and even the chloroplast. So, they manufacture their own food, and hence they have the autotrophic nutrition. They manufacture their own food, and hence have autotrophic nutrition, right. So, now we are done with this question, and now we will move on to the next question. Write the characteristic feature of the bryophytes. Okay? Write the characteristic feature of the bryophytes. Now, when we talk about the evolutionary relationship or the lineage, okay, evolutionary, we saw the thalophyta, bryophyta, so they are just coming, up after the thalophyta. The thalophyta, they have a thallus body. Their body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. Here in the bryophytes, what we see, the body, okay, their body is differentiated, into structures, into root, stem and leaf like structures. Okay. The body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf like structures. That is what we said, the root maybe unicellular, the root like structures called the rhizoids, maybe unicellular, multicellular, whatever. So, the body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf like structures. Now, here the plant body, the dominant plant body, is the what? Sporophyte, okay, which will bear the spores, which will form spores, and which germinates to form the gametophyte, and which germinates to form the gametophyte, okay, and which germinates to form the gametophyte, which will form gametes, okay, which will form gametes, right, and these gametes fuse further to form the what, the spore, and further the generation continues. The bryophytes, they do not have the vascularity, they do not have the vascular elements, they do not have the vascular elements, right, they do not have the vascular elements, that is, they do not have the vascular elements, that is the xylem, that is the xylem and the phloem. They do not have the vascular elements, that is the xylem and the phloem. So, this is the characteristic feature of the bryophytes, right. We move on to the next question, that is the last question, and that is give the general characters of the liverworts. Okay, the liverworts. Now, these liverworts, are liver like. Why they so called? Okay, you know, these mostly belong to, okay, when we are talking about the thalophyta, the bryophyta, okay, the pteridophyta, the gymnosperm and the angiosperm, where do these come? Okay, think and think about this, and we will discuss about this question just after a short break. Okay. Okay friends, so I hope you must have thought. So, these basically the liverworts belong to the mosses group, right, to the mosses, and we have already done what are the mosses, and they are also called, because liver shape, they are also called as the hepatics. So, what is the general characteristic? Their body consists of a thallus, their body consists of a thallus or folios, right. The body consists of a thallus and may be leaf shaped and may be leaf shaped. These have the presence of unicellular rhizoid like root structures. These have the presence of unicellular rhizoid like structures. These have the presence of unicellular rhizoid like structures. The vascular tissues are absent in them. The vascular tissues are absent in them, and also we will see that the sporophyte is parasitic on the gametophyte, right. The sporophyte is parasitic on the gametophyte, right. So, friends, with this we have come to the end of this question session. Any doubts, you can always get back to me. The time we meet again, a very goodbye from this side. Thank you.